Welcome back to the Bold series where we've been looking at the bold women in the Bible that made things happen, and one of them is Deborah. Now, Deborah, as we saw while we're looking at Jael, she was a judge, the only judge mentioned actually. And Deborah, it says in verse 4 of Judges chapter 4, Deborah, a prophetess, the wife of Lapidoth, was judging Israel at the time. She used to sit under the palm of Deborah between Ramah and Bethel, so it's sort of her office, in the hill country of Ephraim. And the people of Israel came up to her for judgment, so she had a consultancy. She sent and summoned Barak, the son of Abinoam, from Kadesh in Naphtali, and said to him, "The Lord, the God of Israel, commands you, go gather your men at Mount Tabor, taking 10,000 from the tribe of Naphtali, the tribe of Zebulun, and I will draw out Sisera, the general of Jabin's army, to meet you by the river Kishon with his chariots and his troops, and I will give him into your hand." Barak said to her, "If you will go with me, I will go." So you see a bit of hesitancy there, and he needs Barak needing support there. "But if you will not go with me, I will not go." And she said, "I will surely go with you. Nevertheless, the road on which you are going will not lead to your glory, for the Lord will sell Sisera into the hand of a woman." And then Deborah rose and went with Barak to Kadesh, and Barak summoned Zebulun and Naphtali, and we see the story unfold. It's interesting that now in chapter 5, after that, we see her writing a song that sort of outlines everything according to, in her viewpoint. You see how she saw things unfold in the battle. Then sang Deborah and Barak, son of Abinoam. So she actually was also a singer or an artist, I would say, a worshipper maybe, that the leaders took the lead in Israel, that the people offered themselves willingly. Bless the Lord. Hear, O kings, give ear, O princes, to the Lord. I will sing, I will make melody to the Lord, the God of Israel. Lord, when thou didst go forth from Seir, when thou didst march from the region of Edom, the earth trembled and the heavens dropped. Notice that God had set up this appointment between Sisera, the general of Jabin, and he says that he would meet Barak at the river Kishon. And so it shows that God actually did come down. It says the earth trembled, the heavens dropped. Yea, the clouds dropped water. The mountains quaked before the Lord. You Sinai before the Lord, the God of Israel. In the days of Shamgar, son of Anath, in the days of Jael, caravans ceased and travelers kept to the byways. The peasantry ceased in Israel. They ceased until you arose. Who arose? Deborah. When new gods were chosen, arose Deborah, arose a mother in Israel. When new gods were chosen, then war was in the gates. Then war was in the gates. Was shield or spear to be seen among 40,000 in Israel? My heart goes out to the commanders of Israel, who offered themselves willingly among the people. Bless the Lord. Tell of it, you who ride on the tawny asses, oh God, you who sit on rich carpets, and you who walk by the way, to the sound of musicians at the watering places. There they repeat the triumphs of the Lord, the triumphs of his peasantry in Israel. Then down to the gates march the people of the Lord. Awake, awake, Deborah. Awake, awake, utter a song. Arise, Barak, lead away your captives. O son of Abinoam. Then down marched the remnant of the noble. The people of the Lord marched down for him against the mighty. From Ephraim they set out thither into the valley, following you, Benjamin, with your kinsmen. From Machir marched down the commanders, and from Zebulun those who bear the marshal's staff. The princes of Issachar came with Deborah, and Issachar faithful to Barak. Into the valley they rushed forth at his heels. Among the clans of Reuben there were great searchings of heart. Why did you tarry among the sheepfolds? To hear the piping for the flocks. Among the clans of Reuben there were great searchings of heart. Gilead stayed beyond the Jordan, and Dan, why did he abide with the ships? Asher sat still at the coast of the sea, settling down by his landings. Zebulun is a people that jeoparded their lives to the death. Naphtali too, on the heights of the field. The kings came, they fought. Then fought the kings of Canaan at Tanach, by the waters of Megiddo. They got no spot of silver. Even fought the stars. From their courses they fought against Sisera. The torrent Kishon swept them away. On rushing torrent, the torrent Kishon, march on my soul with might. Then loud beat the horses' hoofs with the galloping of his steeds. Curse Meroz, says the angel of the Lord. Curse bitterly its inhabitants, because they came not to the help of the Lord, against the mighty. Most blessed of women be Jael, the wife of Haba, the Canaanite, of tent-dwelling women, most blessed. He asked water, and she gave him milk. She brought him curds in a lowly bowl. She put her hand to the tent peg, and her right hand to the workman's mallet. She struck Sisera a blow. She crushed his head. She shattered and pierced his temple. He sank, he fell, he lay still at her feet. At her feet he sank, he fell. Where he sank, there he fell dead. And look at the poetry. Out of the window she peered. The mother of Sisera gazed through the lattice. Why is his chariot so long in coming? Why tarry the hoofbeats of his chariots? Her wisest ladies make answer. Nay, she gives answer to herself. Are they not finding and dividing the spoil? A maiden or two for every man, spoil of dyed stuffs for Sisera, spoil of dyed stuffs embroidered, 2 pieces of dyed work embroidered for my neck as spoil. So perish all thine enemies, O Lord, but thy friends be like the sun as he rises in his might. And the land had rest for 40 years. So because of Deborah, and we can see her whole poetic and songwriting skills here. And she actually praises those who went to war for God. In fact, it's an angel who even says curse Meroz, because they came not to the help of the Lord. And perish all thine enemies, O Lord, but thy friends be like the sun. So basically, we need to be bold enough to rise to the duty call for war, because we're not in a world that is always peaceful. Our lives are not always peaceful, and this is a perfect portrayal of wartime, even in the spirit realm, where God is asking, including women, to rise up to the challenge, to lead his troops to war against his enemies. Note, it is very clear that this Sisera and Jabin, the king, was actually not just the people's enemy as an oppressor, but he was God's enemy. The angel said, Curse be Meroz, because they came not to the help of the Lord. And we see Deborah, a woman, leading that effort to the help of the Lord. So God will use what he can use to fight his battles, but he needs you to play your part, play your role like Jael did in her tent, like Deborah did in her leadership, in order to win the battle. So Deborah, from my book, as I reference this boldness, it's a boldness. It's really the call to roll up your sleeves and go to work when called upon. You never know how it impacts the next generation. She was not only a prophetess and a judge and a military leader, she was also a songwriter, she was a worshiper. She grabbed the opportunity to go to war and expanded her portfolio of accomplishments as a result. Despite being a woman, women do not go to war, much less lead the war. Okay? I think it was Thomas Edison who said, opportunity is missed by most people because it comes dressed in overalls and looks like work. So let's roll up our sleeves, ladies, and go to battle for God against his enemies. And he will give us the victory. Amen. Amen. See you in the next one as I cover the next character, Abigail. Next.